Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am actually testing a new StreamYard. This is like a broadcast app that I'm gonna try it out, but at the same time, I wanted to jump on here and share a very important topic for you because I think a lot of us are actually still having that stay at home order that's in effect. So you can't really go anywhere. So I wanted to talk about connection because I feel that a lot of us, especially in America, the culture is really heavily based on networking, connection. Who do you know who knows somebody? So a lot of us are used to in our social circle and also having that connection. And if you are new here, I am Michelle Kuei, and I am a confidence and leadership coach. I'm also a professional public speaker, and it's been a quite interesting time that I feel. So today I want to talk about how have you made any meaningful connection during this pandemic? And as I said earlier, I think the culture is really heavily depending upon building that connection and having that social circle. And let's face it, we all have a need for that interaction with another human being. That's who we are. So I think by staying at home, it really affects a lot of people, and emotionally and socially, environmentally, we're just not used to what we're experiencing. So if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe buttons because you don't want to miss any of the live stream that I will be doing. And if you're interested, I would love for you to follow me on Facebook at Life Coaching by Elevate, or you can follow me on Instagram at Elevate Life Coach. So let's talk about connection. Connection, I believe it became one of my biggest value when I came home from my trip to Machu Picchu. And there's been a couple of things that I have learned from that trip coming back from Machu Picchu. And there are three things that I've learned. So the first thing I learned was that it's okay that I don't speak Spanish. I just have to smile and look pretty because I believe that the universal language is really right here in our heart. When you are genuine, when you are kind, chances are a lot of these difficulty and struggles would no longer exist, or they become less of a problem because you are more likely to reach out to people asking for help and also receiving help. So having that connection means that you actually put yourself in a place where you understand the value of having the help, receiving the help, and asking for help from another human being. So it was okay for me not to be able to speak Spanish at all. And the second thing I've learned coming from my trip to Machu Picchu was that I realized that I am not a princess, so I don't need to put on my mascara all the time. And instead of having a bucket list of things to do, which typically if I'm here at home, I usually have a list of things that I want to do, I want to take care of. So instead of having a bucket list of things to do, I was hand over a bucket, and basically during the 4-day Inca Trail hike, you would have to kind of just go all natural, or you given a bucket that you can do your business. So that was another thing that I've learned, that you don't need to put yourself up and hold yourself together at all time. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show your weakness. It's okay to be vulnerable, because that's where our connection will come in. We're more likely to ask for help. We're more likely to receive help. And the third thing that I have learned coming home from that trip was that some people are really there for you in the very beginning. So they are there to support you, they champion you, they celebrate you, and they never doubted you for a moment. And they are the one who I would hope that you keep them in your life for the rest of your life, forever. They are actually the driving force that keep us going further. And every time you wanted to quit, they're the one who say, don't quit, we got this, we can do this together. So that was the third thing that I have learned. And so during my 4-day Inca Trail hike, I was really fortunate to have received all these gifts and all these kindness and generosity from people. And I remember among the people who was on that team during that trip, one of them was a chef. He traveled with us and he was one of the porter. And I remember one day that he actually stopped because I walked really slow. I was slower than a donkey. So I was traveling very slow with my two crutches. And I remember he's a chef on our team, and then he slowed down one day. He was speaking in Quechua, which is the native language in Peru, and so he was speaking in Quechua to my tour leader, who was walking with me to make sure that I don't die on the trip. And so he was offering me actually an extra break, an extra tea break. And these are the type of connection that I was able to make during that trip. And a lot of people ask me, how did you make it through, knowing that your wrist was swollen from using the crutches, knowing that you have a lot of muscle ache and you were, shortness of breath that was happening because of the pulmonary hypertension. I remember we were all at, I think it was more than 8,000 feet above sea level. So the whole entire trip, I was experiencing a lot of pulmonary hypertension. But I was able to go through that whole trail and whole journey from on Inca Trail and Machu Picchu because of the connection that I was making. And when I look back, connection is really the foundation in any building any relationship. We all wanted to be somebody, but a lot of time you have to take your time and really develop that, making that connection with someone so that you are developing that deeper and more meaningful relationship where you can actually use your talent, your inspiration, and you can help others and lifting them up. And so in a sense that we may be very different, but looking at myself and while I was on that trip, we were all together, and I think the friendship that comes out of it was just so valuable. And even nowadays, it's been almost 5 years since my trip to Machu Picchu. it, we're still connected through social media. We still, look and celebrate each other in all these major life journey. Just a couple of weeks ago, one of my friends from the trip, she gave birth to her second child, and it's just the most beautiful things that I was able to make coming out of that Machu Picchu trip. So, the bottom line is, regardless where you are now, and regardless of what stage of the journey you are on, yes, we are stuck inside our house, and a lot of time, you don't get to see your friends, you don't get to network with your friend, you don't get to having that hug and kisses that we're used to have. But at the same time, the technology had allowed us to really building and strengthen that connection. So the question I have for you today is, how many connection have you made during this pandemic? And if you think about it, what does that connection means for you? Do you need to see that person every single day, or wouldn't it be nice if you can just take out your phone right now and send a meaningful text to the person you haven't seen for a while, just kind of checking with them and see how they are doing during this pandemic, when we're still at home. So this is something to think about. And hopefully you will be taking out that phone and start making your connection. You may not be able to see that person within the next couple of hours or days, but you can still take out your phone and make that connection. And I believe that's really important for all of us. So how many connections have you made during this pandemic? And again, I'm Michelle Kuei. I'm a confidence and leadership coach. And if you're interested, make sure you check out my website at elevatelifecoaching.org and be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out any of the live video that I will be sharing with you.